I'm very supportive of this program. The authorization to Chief Executive Officer to negotiate a contract based on guidelines is fairly common in many government entities, so there isn't any legal issue with this. On March 18th, the board unanimously approved, as Dr. Rivera noted, a resolution authorizing him to take actions necessary to advance Norwalk's 10-point literacy strategy, one of the points of which is to, quote, increase student access to quality after-school, Saturday and summer programs. In the literacy proposal, which was also adopted by the board, it was noted that the intent was to establish 1 to 2 new satellite after-school and Saturday centers in churches or community centers in home neighborhoods to provide easier access for families, one to be in South Norwalk, a second to be in another location to be determined later. I'm actually pleased to hear that there may be multiple locations, not just 2. So what this memorandum of understanding does, it allows policies that this board has already voted on 2 occasions overwhelmingly in favor of to move forward. I'd also like to note that the Norwalk Common Council has also come out in support of this proposal. As you know, they appropriated $100,000 last year and recommended approval of another $100,000 this year for the South Norwalk Community Center in order to build the physical plant necessary for this program to go forward. So not only does this program support votes already taken by this board on 2 occasions, it's also been endorsed by the elected representatives of the people in the Common Council. Also, we received a copy of the letter from Mayor Harry Rilling stating that he endorses and fully supports this program, the collaboration between South Norwalk Community Center and Norwalk Public Schools to create a learning center at 98 South Main Street. The Learning Center will provide an extraordinary opportunity for the children of District 99. So the mayor's behind this, the Common Council's behind it. It carries out policies that the board has already voted to instruct Dr. Rivera to proceed with. And I'm very excited about this. I mean, in looking at the comprehensive K-5 literacy program, it's very clear. The thing that was most impressive about it was how many different aspects of literacy Dr. Rivera is attempting to address in that plan. And it specifically addresses pre-K. That we already know that many disadvantaged kids get to kindergarten already behind the 8 ball, sort of, in terms of where they are in language development. And we need to reach out to those children. We need to create new programs like this so that they can be ready for kindergarten, so that they get the full advantage of all the other things that we're going to be doing with the K-5 literacy program this fall. So I'm very supportive of this. I think it shows, continued proaction by the superintendent to not just talk about plans, but to move forward. And the reality is that this board sets policy. We adopt policies, we adopt budgets, we adopt spending programs for $165 million all the time, and we do not put those things to a vote of people at public hearings. Obviously, we want to hear from the community and get their input, but at the end of the day, the board was elected by the population to make these kinds of decisions. And we make all sorts of decisions that we don't subject to pre-review and approval by people who show up at a public hearing. We want to hear what they have to say, but they don't have a veto. We're the people who are elected by the population to make these decisions, and we make these decisions based on our best information, and there are dozens and dozens of policies and programs that we move forward with all the time without saying you can't move forward unless some segment of the community has given its imprimatur at it at a public hearing. There are times when the board, I know, when we went through the horrible budget situation a couple of years ago, we had to make decisions that the hundreds of people in the audience didn't want us to make. But we didn't have any choice. We had X dollars, and we only had so much that we could spend, and ultimately the buck stops at the board, and it does here too. So I'm, again, very pleased that you're moving forward with this, and I hope the board will vote in favor of the proposal. Is there any other discussion? Okay, you've already spoken twice on the rules, so.
I didn't speak twice.
Yes, you did.
I did not speak twice
Yes, you
on
did.
this. I did not.
I've been checking you off.
You know what, I don't, no, I did not speak twice. Excuse me. As you say, I am an elected official.
You are out of order. You're out of order.
I'm exercising my right to speak.
You don't have a right
I
under the
do have
rules
a right
to speak any more than twice.
Yes, I do, Mr. Lyons.
All right, is there any other
And now,
discussion
the
for
bottom
members
line
who
is
have not
that,
spoken?
Mr. Lyons, you did say that best information.
All right, we are going to proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion, please indicate.
If you did receive information,
One,
of all
two,
board members
three,
received
four.
information.
I'm sorry, where are we?
We're voting on the motion.
Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All
The
opposed?
motion as it stands now,
Yes. All opposed?
and I haven't chimed in on my motion.
conversations
going on the same time.
Exactly.
Well, I'll do it again to make it clear. We're proceeding with the vote.
You're trying to suppress my voice.
I'm following Robert's
You know,
rules.
you're trying to silence me, and that's not right.
All right, so we're proceeding to the vote on the motion.
You are
Everybody
in charge of
understands? Well, I'm not going to let her.
You should step
Yes,
away.
that's
You
her
should
problem.
have let
All
the
right,
vice chair.
I gave them a
You're
second
in
chance.
charge.
All in favor of the motion, please indicate.
You are in charge.
We're voting on the motion.
Not- and you do
1,
not-
2, 3,
you do not
4,
inform
5,
board
6,
members of
7,
everything.
8 votes yes. Opposed? 1. Motion carries 8-1. Thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is committee and representative reports. We'll start with Mr. Chiramonte.